Quick snap! In this quick snap, we go back to a lost episode about midline triple within the Flexbone Option Offense that I posted on my teaching YouTube channel years ago. If you stumbled upon this video on my teaching YouTube channel, make sure you click the link in the description down below to Coaching Football with Brian Klee, where you can find this video and much more content, which will constantly be updated. For those of you unfamiliar with where I'm located, I am in Coloma, Michigan. Unfortunately, our 2020 fall season has been postponed until spring of 2021. So for the first time in 22 years, I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands here in the fall. Plan on constantly adding and updating the content on my YouTube channel here, just to try to continue to grow as a coach, to become more organized as a coach, and hopefully help other coaches continue to grow and develop their understanding of the game. As far as midline triple is concerned, there's 3 reasons that I think you should consider it if you're already running a Flexbone Option Offense and you're not already using it. Number 1, it provides answers. Number 2, it is a relatively easy thing to install. And number 3, it's a very effective play. First of all, the answers that it provides is when you want to run triple at a B-gap down lineman, a lot of times you want to check to midline double. And while that's not terrible, it ends up limiting the touches that your slots might get. It also takes away some of that philosophy of a 4-back threat that the Flexbone is really kind of predicated on. The other option that you have is also to down block or double team that B-gap defender with either a down play or outside veer. But typically, to be really successful with those, you need to move a split end to at least a nasty split, or you got to bring a tight end into the game. So midline triple lets you stay within the base spread flex formation and still be able to run triple to a closed B-gap. And it's especially a great answer against a team that's going to play double B-gaps, possibly 3-0-3 or 4-I-0-4-I. Second, it's a relatively easy install. If you've already taught your offensive line how to block midline and your tackle is already going to know how to veer release, the blocking for midline triple is already within your scheme. It's already been taught. And even the quarterback making those reads, if the quarterback's already reading midline double, if the quarterback's already pitching on inside veer triple, if the quarterback's already trained up to make a quick pitch on a blood look where both the dive key and pitch key are on the line of scrimmage, the quarterback is really ready to execute midline triple. And lastly, midline triple is just a heck of a play. I don't know if there's another play in all of football where you can leave the defensive tackle and the defensive end at the point of attack unblocked and pick up positive yardage on a consistent basis. On top of that, we run it with counter motion or twirl motion, so it has a little bit of an element of misdirection, which makes any play effective. And lastly, it's going to both threaten the defense with the dive in the A-gaps, which is going to get a lot of the defense to collapse, and quickly attack the perimeter with the pitch. We've had plays where, not on purpose, but we miss the block on the linebacker. So we miss on purpose the block of the defensive tackle because he's the dive key, the defensive end because he's a pitch key, and then we happen to miss the block on the inside linebacker, and we still can get 8 to 10 yards on the play when the ball gets pitched out there. So a tremendous play to add to any Flexbone option offense attack. So let's check out some film. Quickly, before we get into some film diagrams of midline triple, our backside offensive linemen are working scoop hinges. The play side guard is going to take the easiest release around the dive key against an even front. That dive key is something from a 2-I to a 3 technique. It's the first defender on or outside the play side guard, and then the pitch key is the next defender on the line of scrimmage. Against the even front, that's going to typically be a 5 technique or a 6 technique. Every once in a while, a team will put a 4 technique in there to really make inside veer challenging to go. The quarterback is going to step to his left in the diagram and then drop his right foot. so that way he is open to that dive key just like you would on midline, and give the fullback that midline path through the center's play side foot there. The quarterback is thinking, I'm giving that dive. If the dive key takes that away, I'm anticipating a leverage pitch because my slot is going to be faster than that pitch key. Against an odd front, the rules are still the same. We got our scoop hinges on the backside. Playside guard is working easiest release to a linebacker, and then the playside tackle is working, again, easiest release to a linebacker. Whoever doesn't get a backer, you're looking to get to the safety. Quarterback is looking for dive keys first on or outside the guard. Could be a 3 technique, a 4-eye, a 4 technique, even a 5 technique. And then the pitch key is the next defender, outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever you want to call them, 6 technique, or in that diagram, 9 technique. Once again, quarterback is thinking give that dive or anticipate leverage pitch. Keys to getting the play going, besides obviously the offensive line can't allow penetration, the quarterback has to obviously make the correct key. That perimeter blocking is what makes the play explosive. If that split end can get the force defender hooked or sealed to the inside, this play has big time potential as a perimeter play. Now to some film. First clip, I believe we're going to have a 2 or 3 technique, and then a 5 technique that we're dive key, pitch key. Here comes our counter motion. Guard's going to take the easiest release to that stack linebacker. Tackle's going to be releasing outside the dive key, and we don't quite get enough on that middle linebacker. He splits both that guard and tackle. So even though the quarterback made the right read here, we'll take it back and let you see that. Dive key is going to be just straight up the field. He's not closing down at all. He's kissing the fullback's rear end goodbye. If we got more on that linebacker, we'd get more than the 2 to 3 yards that we got on the play to get the first down. End zone shot of the same clip. You can see the release by the guard and the tackle. You can see the quarterback working his footwork, given that midline should be stepping off the midline a little bit more. And it's a good read. We just, again, don't get enough on that linebacker. Against the odd front, again, now we got looks like a 2 because he's inside the guard. They're really trying to take away the A-gap run. 2 techniques really far up the field, so our quarterback is giving it, and we don't get enough of the middle linebacker. Again, does a great job of splitting a triple team essentially, because we're scooping up to him, and he makes the stop for about a 4 or 5 yard gain. Now our quarterback dive key, pitch key. Quarterback should be giving the ball here. Pulls it, and he happens to be faster, and that's going to be a problem that you're going to see in the upcoming clip here. So there is the dive key. He's up the field. We should be giving the ball right now. Quarterback decides to pull it. We miscommunicate on who the pitch key is, and we have a really, really costly fumble. And that's probably the best teaching point with any sort of triple option is live with that give. Make sure you've seen that guy tackle it before you're pulling it and putting yourself in situations. Right now, this should be a leverage pitch, and we should have the corner arc, slot arcing up to the corner, while that split end looks for a crack on an inside linebacker up to that safety. Quarterback tries to do too much with it, gets run down from behind because he's hesitating, and unfortunately things don't work out. Here's another one. Dive keys right in our stuff right away. Just we don't make a nice clear read. Probably not quite off the midline like we want. and we need to be able to pitch that a little quicker. And this is a sophomore quarterback at the time. He's going through his hard knocks in his learning phase. Here we go with, I believe, our first keep. Dive key actually closes on the fullback. Quarterback right now should be leverage pitching. Again, he's a sophomore on this clip. That pitch key has stepped down. Take it back to the start. Pitch key is turned his shoulders. He is not going to be able to run with our slot. Right now the slot is even with him, and that slot is a really good track athlete for our school as well. We pitch the ball out to him. We get our slot up to the corner. We get our split end cracking a safety. We would have really good yardage with a fast slot. The quarterback makes a bunch of yardage here, but that became a problem in the next game. Dive key, pitch key, dive key closes, quarterback pulls, and now he hesitates with the offhand, gives him a fake pitch. Not exactly ideal or what we want, and we're missing the linebacker here with the tackle, I believe. Yeah, the tackle's actually chasing the safety who's following the counter or twirl motion. We'd want that tackle up on the linebacker. Quarterback makes the fake and picks up a big gain. And now it's a little later in the season. He's got the leverage pitch figured out. Dive key closes right there on the fullback. Pitch key's shoulders are turned towards the quarterback. He has no chance of catching up to our slot. Quarterback baits him just a little bit, takes 2 steps towards him, pitches it out to the slot. We got our split end is cracking the safety. The other slot off his counter motion is working up to the cornerback. If we get a little bit more out of our split end here on this crack block, where instead of throwing his shoulders into him and trying to get that knockdown block, he shuffles and keeps his base wide and works that upfield shoulder. We have a shot at going to the end zone on this play. Guard inside release. We don't get the linebacker. That's the other reason the play doesn't quite go. The offensive tackle should be on this linebacker right here. He's in a 30 technique, steps inside to the dive. We've got him pinned. Offensive tackle just asked to have a little better angle on him, and that kid can't get out in pursuit. Dive key, pitch key. Dive key closes. Quarterback sits and pitches. We've got our slot, who is way faster than that 9 technique, outside of him. Corner's leading. Going to get a big block for us. And the slot cuts back. Tries to get more. Should maybe just run to the sideline. Lots of space out here, though. Make the defense have to run after giving them that dive fake from the fullback. Counter motion, coming back this way. 3 technique is the dive key. 6 technique is the pitch key. Dive key closes. Pitch key is turned to shoulders. He's committed to the quarterback. Leverage pitch. Great block by our split end. We'll take it back and just watch him. He is cracking that linebacker. If that linebacker goes out, that offensive tackle can now work up to the safety. We're giving ourselves multiple chances at getting that safety blocked. And if the tackle would have done a little better job of not chasing that linebacker out, staying on his B-gap cylinder, we get that safety blocked, we got a shot at going here. I believe this might have been the first play of that game that we had some fumbles in. There's our counter motion. Dive key closes. Leverage pitch. We get a bunch along the sideline. And this last clip is 4th and 2 to finish up the game. Dive key closes. Pitch key is looking at our quarterback. We put it out there, and we've got a ton of grass to go and run. Decent block by our other slot. We punch it in for the game-sealing touchdown. Right here, this number 1, this is a safety. He is in man-to-man coverage on that slot. The counter motion pins him inside. Our offensive tackle actually ends up blocking him. He peeks at that dive, so there's nobody. Our split end is confused on who to block. There's nobody left for him to block. Our slot makes a great block on the corner, and it puts it in for the touchdown. So once again, midline triple, great play to run within the Flexbone Option Offense attack. It gives you a way to read that B gap down lineman when the B gap's closed and still be able to keep the principles of the triple option alive. Thanks for checking out this quick snap on Coaching Football with Brian Klee. Please follow me on Twitter at Coach Klee. Subscribe to the channel, Coaching Football with Brian Klee, by clicking down below. And if you have any further follow-up questions, email me at coachbrianklee@gmail.com.